All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America. We are honored to have each and every one of you join us here on Monday night. Hopefully you've had a great week, great weekend, as always. Scott Carson, Note Guy, excited to be here with you on our, 11th anniversary, basically, of hosting these weekly coaching calls. As we always say, there is no dumb questions. The only dumb question is the question that's not asked. So, I want to dive into our topic tonight, cloning your workflow. Ladies and gentlemen, got a lot of great stuff to go through tonight. Should have a special guest, but he still not logged on yet, but we'll get rock and rolling anyway. Didn't want to keep you guys waiting. But first and foremost, if this is your first time to Note Night in America, welcome. We're glad to have you. We have these things, like I said, just about every Monday night at 7 p.m. They are recorded. I do see the red light recording there. You can always catch the replays if you've got to step away or want to catch up on past episodes of Note Night in America by going to weclosenotes.tv. That'll take you directly to our YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're there. Over 2,000 videos, over 4,200 subscribers now on our YouTube channel. Welcome each and every one of you. But it's a great way for you to catch up on all the recorded Monday night webinars. It used to be called the Monday Note. We rebranded a couple years ago, and now we're off and rock and rolling with this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button there. But also, if you don't like to watch, you want to listen, you can listen to our past episodes of Note Night in America as well, as we have our own podcast for it, Note Night in America podcast. You can listen to just about everything. I think we're only 1 or 2 episodes behind on getting that uploaded. Last week's is not up in there, but everything through December should be. And then you can always listen to our 50 megawatt blowtorch of the Note Closer Show podcast. As always, you can check out everything we do by going to weclosenotes.com, checking out the podcasts. We are uploading new episodes to Note Camp as well. Should see some more of those over here in the next week or so. But anyway, guys, welcome. Just honored to have you guys all here. Over 40 million listeners across our different channels, and just absolutely honored to have all of you here. As a big reminder, we do have our Note Weekend class, our one-day Cliff Notes version, this Saturday from 9 to roughly about 5 o'clock. If you go to noteweekend.com, you can get signed up, get the replays sent to you on Sunday, but we'll spend the full day Saturday going through the nuts and bolts of note investing. If you go to noteweekend.com, you can get signed up there for just $49. We got over $1,000 in bonuses and special offers to go along with it. Along with, you also get the replays of the last one. So you can start learning. If you sign up tonight at noteweekend.com, you can have the replays in your inbox tonight and start learning and be much more knowledgeable and a little bit more absorbent. The first time you take it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant, like an oversaturated sponge. But you get the replays included, and a great way for you to go back and really start to dip your feet in the deep end and see if note investing is right for you. We focus on how to find, fund, and flip non-performing notes, and it's a great starting course for most people out there. $49, guys and gals, well worth it. And as my competition told, as I've heard, it's the biggest bang for the buck in the industry. So honored to have you guys be a part of that. Any questions so far before we dive into the main content? All right, let's get rocking and rolling here. Cloning your workflow. As we start off the year 2021, everybody's always having about New Year's resolutions, right? I resolve to do something better. Well, don't have a resolution, have a revolution. All right. And I don't care what your status is. Don't give me the status, I work too much or don't make enough money. Wah. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Everybody has tough times. Okay. And if you can't take that, then do yourself a favor. It's easy to log off and go do something else. But I don't want to hear any Debbie Downers. Okay. We are all in the positions of where we're at because of the decisions that we have all made along the way. All right. Now, one of the big things that I know that is a limiting factor for many people, especially in the note business space, is I can't get it all done. I don't have enough time. I only have 5 hours or 10 hours a week because I'm working too much. And I understand that. But there are things you can do to delegate things out, because you don't have to do it all. Heck, I don't do it all. If you are the one that's trying to do it all in your business, you are the bottleneck that's holding you back from success. All right. Now, one of the things that came to mind when I think about cloning ourselves is the movie. Remember the '96 movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton and Andy McDowell, where Michael was this guy who was just stretched to spend time with his family, his job, to have fun, take care of himself and things. And he found a way to clone himself. And he found a guy that his second half was a workaholic. And then he cloned another one to take care of that feeling side. Wasn't feeling enough. And then the cloned somebody and they had a fall off. That was the comic relief. But Michael was able to do some things. So if you think about this, think about your realistic thing. What would you clone? And let's just be honest. Would you clone spending time with your family? It depends on your family. Okay. Some of us would not clone spending time with family, but I guarantee a lot of us would clone the things that we do at work. If we could have somebody go and work, if you're working an hourly job, have them show up while you're doing other things. Maybe you're working more on stress. You're stressing about things. You have somebody to deal with the stressful things, whether it's your health or fitness. Hey, if I could have clone somebody to go work out for me so I look a whole lot better than me having to go do it, that'd be great. But I don't think we want to clone on the fun. You know, obviously we want to spend time and have some fun. And if life is too serious, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy or Joan a dull girl, right? And so one of the things that I have found useful, very useful, that's a useful lad, is being able to take a look at my schedule and identify places that I could delegate out. Now, one of the things that I've put together tonight with all of you guys and gals that are joining us live is I've put a quick poll. I'd love for you guys to take a second to just answer this poll. And basically it's 2 questions. And first question is, what do you need the most amount of help with within your real estate business? Okay, I'm launching this now for you guys that are watching this. You won't be able to join in, but if you're joining us live, you'll be able to catch that. And I'd like for you to answer these 2 questions. What do you need the most amount of help with within your real estate business? Is it help in finding deals? Is it helping in raising private capital? Do you need some help with social media marketing your deals, marketing case flow? Or is it miscellaneous activity, bookkeeping, travel, researching tax liens on a property, title, working with your vendors, okay? Give me an answer. Take a couple seconds, a couple minutes. We'll take about a minute and a half here for you guys to answer these 2 questions. That's the first question. What do you need the most amount of help with? All right. And the second question is, are you a full-time or part-time investor? And by full-time, real estate investing is all that you do, okay? Part-time, no, I have a 9 to 5 and invest in my spare time, maybe 5, 10, 20 hours a week, okay? No time. I don't have any spare time because I'm constantly working, whether it's my career or 2 jobs to pay ends meet, or, hey, I'm retired. And real estate investing is more of a hobby. So I'm not too serious about it. I am serious about making money, but I'm not too serious about it where I'm working 40 hours a week. I have kind of a flexible schedule. So do me a favor, everybody, please take and answer that question for me. Come on now. Let's get a few more people clicking in there to answer. I appreciate that. What do you guys need the most amount of help with? We got another minute here, another 30 seconds. Let's get a couple more people to answer here, everybody. Please, if you would not be doing it. Now, I'm not asking for your name. It doesn't keep track of who voted who. I kept it anonymous. So let's try to get one more. There we go. 75% of you answered that stuff. I'll let the last couple seconds tick off here. But once again, what do you need the most amount of help with within your real estate business? And those that answered, it didn't surprise me. I'm going to stop the polling now. All right. Let's share the results here. So the biggest overwhelming thing is help in finding deals. That does not surprise me, okay? Number 1, help in finding deals. Second, I need help with miscellaneous activities. I can understand there's a lot of moving parts in those. Third thing is raising private capital. And the 4th thing is social media marketing. Okay, I get that. All right, a little small steps. Now, are you full-time or part-time? Doesn't surprise me that overwhelmingly basically 50% of you are part-time, and almost the other half are full-time. We have a big mixture of full-time and part-time investors. Some people are hobby. That's totally fine. That's what I feel like doing. None of you said no time, which is great. All right. Well, those with no time would probably not be on here right now, right? But so thank you for sharing. But this is not a surprise. Helping finding deals, raising capital, and marketing are always the 3 biggest things. And what people don't realize, helping finding deals and raising private capital all go with marketing. Now, I put on your social media marketing on there. A lot of you guys like to view, but you're not doing a very effective job when it comes to marketing, posting things on a regular basis. Okay. So what I want to do with you guys tonight, is he on here or not? I guess something might have happened tonight. Anyway, so what I'd like for you guys to do, let me stop the share here, is I want to talk about some of the basic things that you guys can start delegating. All right. Now, first thing, finding deals. Let's talk about some of the great ways for you guys to delegate things out. Now, finding deals, we find it in 2 different ways. One, sending email blasts out to asset managers. And secondly, reaching out to asset managers on LinkedIn via phone call. Now, I know if you're working full-time or part-time or don't want to jump on the phone, that can be very intimidating, right? It can be very intimidating reaching out on a regular basis. So this is why, if you don't like being on the phone, I would highly recommend that you use a tool called Octopus, okay? OctopusCrm.io. Now, you need to have a LinkedIn profile first and foremost. You can't delegate filling that out. But Octopus, for like $21, $22 a month, you can send out about 100 invites a day if you've got already have a LinkedIn profile. Now, if you only have like 50 connections on there, it's going to take you a little while, but it can allow you to send out 10 to 20, maybe up to 100 invites a week. That's still better than nothing, okay? But thinking about that, if LinkedIn is one of the best ways to reach out, not only to asset managers at banks to find deals, but it's also a great way to raise capital. I use Octopus CRM to connect with asset managers at both banks and lending institutions. I use it to reach out to business development people. I use it to reach out to investors in different markets, Houston, Ohio, statewide or citywide. I can use LinkedIn to identify those markets, pull lists over in, and Octopus helps me automatically reach out to them on a daily basis. Every morning, first thing I get on the computer, turn it on, I go to Octopus, boom, let's send out another 100. Who am I targeting this week? I'm targeting investors in Houston because I have a couple Houston deals. Let's go and connect with 70 to 100 in the next couple days to do that. And that's a great way to also raise private capital. As I connect with investors on Octopus CRM, it gives me the opportunity. I look for real estate investors. Hey, are you looking to fund some deals? Are you looking for notes to fund your portfolio? You got some IRA money looking to put to work? We have a whole system that we use. I'll actually probably do a Note Night in America on Octopus CRM here, probably in the next 2 weeks, actually. Not next Monday night, but probably the following Monday night. But that becomes one thing that I can delegate. Now, here's the thing. Social media marketing or marketing other ways for investors is I have a virtual assistant that I hire through Riva Global, REVA Global, at roughly $10 an hour, $10.16 an hour, I believe. Now that's cheaper because of a couple things. One, I don't pay Social Security or taxes or anything and stuff on that. It's just flat $10 an hour roughly. Okay, 20 hours a week. That's roughly about $200 every 2 weeks. It's like having somebody else work for you, but I don't have to pay for an office. She works remotely in the Philippines. She works 4 to 5 hours a day. I give her specific things to do in different projects. Sometimes she's going on to LinkedIn and connecting with asset managers. Sometimes she's going on there and posting articles. Sometimes she's going into Canva and helping me with marketing, creating infographics, creating thumbnails. She's taken some of my images or quotes that we've gotten from some of our 5-star reviews in the podcast and created images or pictures about this. She takes pictures of deals that I send her. I've sent her a whole spreadsheet of deals. She went and pulled pictures of it. She did due diligence on those assets for me, especially those of you guys that are getting tapes in and don't have enough time for due diligence. You can outsource your due diligence by giving them systems and showing how to work it. Looking to raise capital. Besides just LinkedIn, we've also talked and shared how to, for my virtual assistant, to go to the county records, like we do in the workshop, like we teach how to raise capital in the workshop, and going to the county records in different counties across the country and spending time to copy and paste and pulling people that have used an IRA to fund a purchase or have used an IRA to buy a piece of property. And they've pulled this list together and helped sort it out, find mail addresses. So now all I've got to do is actually print, because I actually sent a sample letter to my VA and they created a mail merge. So I don't have to go through it individually, corrected. They've done it all, sent the document back. All I have to do now is print it, or I can mail the letter to a mailing house of at least 1,000 names, and then they get managed it, and I just get a bill. All the mailing's done for me. I don't have to worry about stuffing envelopes myself. But if you wanted to, hey, 50 to 100 a day, you could do that relatively easy at night and any given time. Now, what also can my VA do for me? She's done a lot. She has reached out to people, helped me get booked on speaking engagements, on other podcasts, on other events, other meetup groups. She actually is part of our Note Nation Facebook group. So she helps filter. She takes people's information when they opt in and puts it into a spreadsheet for me. She's also does a lot of database work, does some scrubbing, pulls. This is one thing that I would do with each and every one of you, as you're building a bigger database. You've seen those posts on LinkedIn or Facebook where someone says, hey, I have an asset, or I have a property here, or a list of deals, and you see everybody and their dog put their first name, last name, email address in there. Well, I have her surfing some of the groups that I'm in to look for those to build lists that I can market to. Okay. She also goes out and takes people that are signed up that are brand new to Note Night in America and goes out on LinkedIn and finds them and sends a connection invite to them. All right. So if we're not connected on LinkedIn, I highly encourage you to. She does a lot for me. She takes articles, she takes blogs, goes into my YouTube account, adjusts the transcription so it gets better boosting. I could not do nearly what I do without my VA. And one of the best things that I would highly recommend that you do is write down everything that you do on a daily basis. Make a complete list. All right. Make a complete list. And then, all right, what do you have to do and what could you have somebody else do? Now, the big underlying factor here is you need to know what your hour is worth. Most of us are working below our pay grade. Now, if you want to make, say, 50 grand, or let's just say 60 grand in this year, 60 grand is 5 grand a month. All right. And that comes down to 5 grand a month. If you work 4 weeks, that's $1,250 a week. If you divide that by 40 hours, actually, we just divide 50. Okay, so 60 grand, divide by 12 months is 5 grand, divide by 4 weeks, it's $1,250 a week. Divide that by, let's just say 50 hours a week. That means your hourly is worth about $25 an hour. Now, if you're not making $25 an hour, sorry to you, you're probably don't have either A, don't have skills, or B, you're settling for something. Now, the thing to look at is at your list. If you can delegate your list out to people for less than $25 an hour through an app, through a VA, $10 an hour. So if I have an hour of work and I look at it and it's something I could delegate to JC for $10 an hour, I would rather her do that administrative work for $10 an hour while I go do something that's worth $100 an hour. That's the only way that you'll get to where you want to be. By a show of hands on here, how many of you are not happy with where your income goals are so far for the year? Where are you not happy with where you want to be right now? Just show of hands. Good to see a lot of people on here tonight. Linda, Gary, Jerry, Jay, Jerome, Alice, Dickie. Good to see you guys. Patricia, Rick, Kenneth Younger, Joseph. Good to see you guys. Jerome. Great. Thank you for raising your hands. A lot of people aren't happy. Heck, I want my numbers be up. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to look at what you're doing on a day in, day out basis. If you don't have time to go out and email asset managers, you got to create some time. And then maybe hiring somebody, maybe partnering up with somebody. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to delegate this because the fact is they're not going to do as good a job as me. And I had that limiting belief early on. They're not going to do as good as job. They're going to screw shit up. My asset managers, oh my God, I have to protect that list. I've worked hard to build it over the years. I have. What you have to realize is that delivered will beat perfection every single time. How many of us are absolute perfectionists? Okay. It's got to be done perfect, right? Sylvia, thank you for sharing that. And there's a few of us other on here that will admit to it. Okay. Linda. Okay. I get it. It's tough, but if you don't have the time to get it done and you're spending time doing something below $25 an hour that somebody else could do, guess what? 70% is better than not being done. And every time that your VA does something or your assistant does something that you delegate, they're going to get a whole lot better. I had a talk with a real estate investor. You guys will recognize his name, but I'm not going to drop any names. So I've tried to hire VAs. I've tried to hire people on Fiverr, and they're just idiots. They're just dumb. And I asked them, hey, how much time are you spending to coach that person? How much are you teaching that person about exactly what you're going to do? Well, they're a VA. They should know exactly. I go, aha, there's the problem. Nobody has ESP out there. You could give great instructions or tell people what you want to do, but you still have to communicate with your team, your assistant, and things like that to get things done. All right. I communicate with my assistant about once a week. She sends me a list of what she's working on. I review her work every couple of days. She's on the right track. Great. She's not on the right track. I let her know. She adjusts it and goes from there. But you have to realize it's like training anybody else. We all get started putting our pants on one leg at a time. We all get our knees scuffed up by getting on our bike. We all need training wheels, and we all need to be a little flexible with our VAs. Here's the thing. If your stuff is not getting done, it is not helping you trying to be perfect. I had this conversation the other day with another somebody out there, and she was talking about how she's trying to get the stuff done. I'm like, why are you trying? Why don't you just get it done? Well, it's not perfect. I'm like, screw perfect. Was the iPhone perfect when it first came out? Heck no, it wasn't. The iPhone was not perfect. It was a whole lot better than what it was, but now we're at version T or R8 or whatever, RS rates or whatever it might be. It's gotten better every time. And that's what you all have to realize to learn in getting things to another level. Now, if there's something that you do, I know Joseph and Richard, you guys teach a class, okay? Now, you guys teach a class at the library. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, I can't replace, especially everything that's going on this last year. Oh, I can't replace that in person. That in person just can't be replaced. And what did COVID do to us? It made us replace this by going via Zoom and now doing Zoom classrooms. Now you will see universities, I guarantee you this, combining together to have one professor teaching the same class across multiple campuses. They've already been doing virtual learning. When I was going to school, I took my last couple classes, correspondence classes, right? Had to jump online, watch a video, watch a telewebinar. I was actually part of the first teleclass between Texas Tech and Angelo State in the state of Texas back in 1990, it would have been 96, I guess it was. Yeah. First teleclass with where they had two classes in two different universities with the same professor. And you have to realize, like you guys, if I were trying to do this just in person, I would have to be at a lot of places: Houston, California, Austin, Chicago, Tampa, Denver, Houston again, a lot of places, right? San Francisco, San Diego, to have one-on-one conversations. But together, we're using a tool to help bring everybody together at once. We're delegating. I'm helping delegate my speaking now that I don't have to jump on a plane. I'm now saving me a ton of hours, a ton of airfare by not having to fly across the country. I'm doing it from the comfort of my own home, my own loft, my own office. So look at what you're doing. What are the biggest things that can be delegated? Let's talk about this. Throw something up here individually. What's struggling? What is one aspect of your note or real estate business that you're having a hard time getting done that you could maybe delegate? Let's talk about this. Let's throw this up here. Make some comments in here and things that you would love to delegate. For some of you guys that voted on the poll, what are some of the things that you'd love to delegate? The marketing or the raising capital or the finding deal flow. What are some things, if you could set it up where somebody else handles that for you, that you didn't have to do it, what would be one of those great things? Now, some of you are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be called on. I'm not going to call on you. I'm looking for examples here. One of the biggest things is the reaching out to asset managers. If people struggle with MailChimp, okay? We have one of our students delegated. Here we go, calling asset managers, Siva. Okay, great, awesome. You can do that, actually. You can delegate through a virtual assistant to call. My VA in the Philippines works in the mornings from basically 9 to 1 o'clock my time. She could call asset managers. I give her the scripts. I set up a service called Calling Rail. She's got a specific phone number. She's got an email. She could literally dial asset managers by using the scripts that I provide. She's watched the video of me calling bank asset managers and can do that. She could pick up the phone and knock out 20 phone calls in an hour or two and reach out. Hey, I'm just reaching out on behalf of Scott Carson, WeCloseNotes.com, if you have anything available. So that's one thing that you could do is call on the asset managers. Thank you for sharing, Steve. I appreciate that. Give her some scripts. Give him or her some scripts in a video tutorial. That's one of the great things about what we do in our virtual workshop. A lot of people take what we do and use the scripts, use the email templates, use the LinkedIn stuff to help train their virtual assistants to make things happen. What's another side things besides calling asset managers that you would like to see delegated for you guys? Great. Milton says due diligence, research, checking, and responding to emails. Okay, so let's take that in a couple pieces. Due diligence, Milton. If you've ever been to our 3-day virtual workshop, you know that we have a short checklist and a long checklist. If you give people the short checklist, they can initially run through most of the due diligence. You tell them exactly what to look for, what the numbers are, tell them specifically what we're looking at. I know that several people have taken our breaking down tapes videos from a Note Night in America from about 2 years ago and used that as their basis for training their VAs. How do I know? Because I took my own video and gave it to VAs to do that. So they're able to check taxes. They're able to jump on and pull street view values, save those photos. They're even creating those images from those photos, put it into a video, checking taxes, calling the county records office to check on liens, calling to see about if the utilities are on. You just have to give people your review to do that and tell them exactly what you're looking for. That's the one thing. You have to tell them exactly what you want to tell them. Now, responding to emails, you can still automate a lot of that with a VA, but you still want to have somebody, inserting what you would say. I would have somebody reviewing your emails and filtering the ones that you really need to spend on, and the other ones just killing it and deleting or unspamming you. That heck, who doesn't need a VA to unsubscribe them? There is a great cloud-based tool called Unroll.me. Unroll.me is a great tool to use in your email to help you unroll yourself from a lot of the spam folders out there. So Milton, thank you for sharing. But yeah, due diligence, pulling values, working with your vendors. You could have hire a VA to help you reach out to Dickie Baldwin at Baldwin Advisory Group and be your own asset manager. Hey, what assets are we making offers on? Okay, I need you to reach out to Dickie and tell him we need BPOs on these 4, and we need to order O&E reports on these 4. All right. A virtual assistant is really, really valuable to have. And look, what you have to realize, you may not agree with this, but if you guys want to go from making whatever you're at to 100 grand, is you hire an assistant. It doesn't have to be somebody perfect. Somebody have to be in person. You hire an assistant, and paying somebody will become paying enough that you will find something for them to do, because their value in doing more due diligence for deals, or reaching out to more asset managers, or reaching out to more private investors should yield in more capital raised, more deals reviewed, and more bids submitted. Can we agree to that? Yes, we can, right? A lot of us get so bogged down that I only have this much and I only have that much. And I get it. If you're on a fixed income or you're having a hard time making ends meet, yeah, you may not have the extra. Maybe you need to go to your local real estate club and partner up with somebody who is in the same place that you are, and you guys are each other's assistant. You're good at specific things and they're good at specific things. That might be one of the great ways to do stuff. We had a couple of our coaching students were big into second lien. So what they did, when they got a tape in, they would spend time and break down the tape together. They would do the due diligence together. That way they got a lot done in a short period of time versus them trying to do it all. They got it done in twice as fast, actually 3 times faster than what they did, because they were able to review everything quickly. He took half the spreadsheet, he took the other half, and they worked together. How many of you guys are connecting and talking with other note investors on a weekly basis? Now, while you can't outsource the networking, you could technically hire a VA to go on meetup.com and find investment clubs. You could have them jump on Facebook and research Facebook groups for you. You could have them share your posts to these different meetup groups. You could have them share posts or marketing your deals that you're looking on or deals that you have to your Facebook groups. Virtual wholesaling. We've got several of our friends that are doing some big wholesaling stuff. They're using VAs to share across all the sorts of, and they're sitting there from their house with a bourbon on rocks or from the beach. Look, we've done that before. We've had VAs break down due diligence on tapes while I've been traveling. And they come back with a list. Okay, great. I double check that list. Spend 30 minutes reviewing everything. Looks good. We get it submitted. Boom. I didn't take any time away from my vacation. 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening to review my emails. They are running everything else. They let me know if something pops up. And the great thing is I communicate with my VA via WhatsApp. Okay. WhatsApp is on here, on your phone, and it becomes becomes very easy to communicate with somebody across the country. You have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, this whole world has gotten a whole lot smaller with the use of all these amazing tools, all of these amazing software programs, apps, things like that. There's a lot of great things that you can do to make things a whole lot easier on you when it comes to what you're doing on a day in, day out basis. Okay, so let me ask a question here. Riva Global, REVA Global.com. We were supposed to have Bob LaChance, the founder of Riva, on tonight, and for some reason he's missed it. So one of the first times we've had a Note Night in America speaker miss. So I thought it would be a good time to spend some time with you guys and go through some things. So great things. What else are you trying to resource? You could resource your county record research. You could, one of the great things that we did is we hired a VA. We pulled assignment of mortgages filed from Orange County and from Harris County. That's Orlando and Houston, Texas, for those of you guys that don't know. And I had a VA jump on there and pull every assignment of mortgage, every deed that was filed, or not deed, but assignment of mortgage that was filed. And they pulled the assigner, the signee, the grantor, the grantee. So it gave us a huge list of people who had bought loans or who had sold loans. And we've been working through that. We had another VA. If they pulled the list, we found another VA in India to spend some time on a contract basis very quickly, $300. They went through and scrubbed 1,500 contact points for us and narrowed that list down to a much smaller, not a much smaller list, but a smaller list than the 15,000 we found. They're now narrowed it down to about 5,000 entities, names, emails, phone numbers, addresses. We didn't have an email or phone number for everybody, but we had a lot more than we had to begin with, and found people that were connected to that entity on LinkedIn. We've reached out. It's like the deals coming in. It's been a great thing out there. Okay. So what are other things that you guys are struggling with to delegate? Now, I know you are looking to do a variety of things. All right. Raising capital, marketing, finding deals. I know you all are doing different things, and you're like, well, I don't have the time. How many of you feel like your marketing or your real estate investing is a catch-up thing? Now, by catch-up, I don't mean Heinz 57, okay? But catch-up in meaning that you work hard, you come home, oh, I'm so exhausted. I might look at my email. Oh, I'll get to that tomorrow. And I'll get to it tomorrow. Mañana, the mañana method, okay? Or I'll do it this weekend. Oh, I just don't feel like it. There's too much college football on tonight. I'm going to watch everything. And that's the thing. I think we all experience that. God knows we all have. I had a mañana thing kick in yesterday, but the power went out here in Austin for most of the day. So mañana had to wait till this morning to get some of the things done. I reached out to my VA, and even though she wasn't working, I said, hey, I make sure that this is a priority for you first thing Monday morning. Or, hey, do you mind working a little overtime to help us get caught up? There's a lot of great things that you guys can do. What else are you struggling? Come on, everybody. Siva, thank you for sharing. Milton, thank you for sharing. John, Joseph, Kenneth, Dickie, what are some of the things you guys are looking to help outsource? Linda talked about one of the things you're struggling with. What are you struggling with to outsource, Linda? I know you're an active agent there in Huntington Beach, and a lot of agents are outsourcing what they call their open to close stuff, their list to close stuff, filling out their MLS listings, tracking the paperwork on a closing, right? We have a lot of, quite a few title companies that use VAs to help them process things, do title work, and kind of move the file along, all right? I've used VAs before to help book my travel when I was traveling a lot. Hey, make sure you book. Here's what I like. Here's my numbers. Here's my credit card to book where I want to book, or just basically get to the point and let's get it booked. Some people are like, oh my God, how do you pay VAs? Well, you pay with a PayPal, okay? What I did is I would look at when I had travel things, I would give my card, all right, that only had a limit on that card. And it was basically, I see the invoice come in, I transfer the money over, they would run it for that amount, and we were good to go. That's one thing to do, setting up a separate account with a separate debit card for that specific account so that it doesn't, nobody can run off with it. And one of the things I've always done with my assistants, I always gave them basically a $100 kind of spending. If they saw something that would work well to help them in their employment or their work of me, up to $100, hey, great, we'll get it done. And then we got up to $500 decision. Hey, if you see something that works, we'll get it. Or up to $1,000, let's talk about it. So I think in these times, you don't need to have assistants more so. And I think you're seeing that more and more happen across the country. Big companies are unbecoming geographically focused. And so many people are like, well, I need somebody right there going to talk to. I used to think that too. And then I've been dealing with different VAs over the years, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy having somebody do it. It's the difference between paying somebody $20 to $25 an hour here in Austin, Texas, where you have to be competitive like that, to paying somebody $9 or $10 an hour to do a better job, may have more experience, and they're more motivated, I would have to say, because they want to keep your work. And paying somebody a $10 bonus as a VA, wow, they get excited about that. Whereas if you gave somebody a $10 bonus here in the United States, they may just laugh at you and throw it back at you. Okay, so highly encourage you all. One of the best things you can do is make a list of things that you do with every deal or things that you do every day. Okay. And then if there's a way to delegate, learn to try to delegate everything off. Our buddy Robbie Woods, you guys may know of him from the Note MBA podcast, one of our mastermind students, originally a deadbeat borrower of mine, loves to delegate everything off. He could delegate actually he does delegate off his laundry. He picks it up and he drops it off and picks it up. Okay. But look at what you do. I was at a conversation with Steve Sims last week, and he talked about one of the things that he loved delegating off. He talked about this in his book, Blue Fishing. Great book. Oh, maybe you can't see it here. My background's green. It's Blue Fishing. There you go. He talked about one of the big things he loved was delegating cooking. So you don't have that conversation, oh, what's for dinner? So he brought in somebody to cook his meals, and it ended up being a whole lot cheaper. So because he got back almost close to 20 hours a week, they could do something else with. Figure it taking between cooking dinner, shopping for it, or running through the drive-through, he was able to now to have meals brought to him. And I know that's a bit of a budget, but he says, Scott, when you look at the cost of what it cost me to get, it was cheaper than me eating out all the time. It was healthier food, and having somebody show up with food that I could just pop in the microwave that was healthier for me, or stuff that was fresh, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I can understand that. So now the one thing that you probably don't want to delegate you're doing on a daily basis, something you really enjoy. Now, I used to love working in my yard. Okay, I used to love it when I first got started. I had the yard of the month in our first house that I bought when I was married. It was always manicured, looked nice because I grew up doing that as a kid. It was always a bit of pride. But as I grew as an entrepreneur and started traveling more, I didn't want to mow the yard. I didn't want to get out in 112-degree heat and mow the lawn, then weed eat and have to bag it all and be all sweaty and icky. You know, I'd rather do something else in my 2 to 3 hours every Saturday, Sunday. Go to a ball game, go to a movie in the AC, right? So I was like, wait, what does it take me? So if I figure my time is worth $100 an hour at least, okay, I'm spending that's $300. I could give $25 to the neighbor kid, let him mow, let him get all hot and sweaty, let him do a good job after I coach him a little bit, tell him how exactly I like it, how to trim, how stuff like that. And those 3 hours I could spend in the AC working or doing something else with my time. Now, obviously with COVID, a lot of it's like, I want to do something. I want to get the heck out of Dodge or get the heck out of the house. If working and mowing your yard or working in the garden stuff is something you enjoy, okay, guess what? Do it. But there are things that you dislike doing or really hate doing. Learn to delegate it. Talk to somebody. There may be a software tool or there may be a VA to help you out with that. And if you would like an introduction to Riva Global, I would love to jump on the phone with you guys, get you on the phone with Bob LaChance or Amy Ransdell or his team over at Riva Global and help you make that commitment. And look, it's a beautiful thing. I get an invoice at the end of the 2 weeks. I pay that invoice. If I need to cancel it, I gave them 2 weeks notice, just like a regular job. They took some time off the holidays, or I paid them a little small bonus for the holidays. I could tell you this right now, I could not do nearly what I wanted to do. If I had to cut slack, I would not cut my VA. I would keep them on track. I mean, I even have my servicing basically delegated. You're hiring a servicing company to do your due diligence or to do your workouts. I have an asset manager that's dealing with asset management on me. You guys may not be ready for that because the fact is you don't have enough deals. You don't have enough deal flow. You're not raising enough capital. You're not marketing enough. All those things, those 4 things we really talked about, you guys aren't doing it. And you need to do more of it. You need to focus on it. I know many of you are working, half of you are working full-time, half of you are working part-time. Those that are part-timers, and you want to get that full-time basis, you need to know what you need to be making to be doing this full-time. You have to start maximizing your part-time side hustle. If you don't have the time for it, you know what? Start hiring a VA to start doing some of those due diligence. I've talked to my mastermind members, my coaches, just like, listen, 2 of you guys together, you're in the same area, hire a VA, split 40 hours a week. You take 20, you take 20, they work the 40 for you both. And you'll end up getting a whole lot more done because I get that day in, day. Well, I don't have time to market. I don't have time to do diligence. I don't have time to reach out to asset managers. You have time. It's how you use that time. And if you use it effectively and you're smart about it, it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. And what it does cost you, you should be able to make that back 5 or 10-fold in the productivity that they provide to you on a regular basis. If you need help identifying delegation duties, identifying things for them to do, please let me know. I've spent a lot of time with Riva Global and trained their staff, giving them videos how to reach out to asset managers at banks, what to say, what not to say, how to reach out to IRA investors, how to pull those lists and how to market them, how to reach out on LinkedIn and find people, how to do social media marketing. I mean, JC handles all my buffer.com account. She uploads things, she takes things, she pulls things from different articles that are being provided from their services. So I'm not doing most of the posting. I post for Note Night in America, and that's about it. She's handling just about everything else. And she's already done a good job as we've platted out the year. She's already taken and created a marketing calendar to make my life easier, make it easier on everybody. So things get done. They look more efficient. She's taking things that we use in one spot and sharing them other places and really just doing a great job. And so I really, guys and gals, I encourage you all, no matter where you're at, whether you're full-time, whether you're full-time investor, part-time retired, chilling, get you a VA. If you're not getting enough things done, you're not getting enough clients, you're not marketing. And part of that marketing is you're not getting out in front of people. If you don't have the time, you need to get somebody on your team to help you out with it. So any other questions, comments, concerns tonight for you guys out there? Highly encourage you guys, ask any questions. There are no dumb questions. The only dumb question is the question that's not asked. How to get a VA again? RivaGlobal.com or reach out to me, LaShonda, Scott@WeCloseNotes.com, and I'd be glad to make a personal introduction to Bob and his team over at Riva Global. Okay. RevaGlobal.com. And I think if you go there, actually, let me share here. I believe if you go to RevaGlobal.com, Bob's got a special ebook you can do. Share my screen. There we go. Yeah, Riva Global. There we go. My internet might be a little slow because of everything going on here. See, you can just go to the website, sign up for a virtual assistant now. It's really kind of a great thing. Continue as Scott, continue as a guest. Our virtual assistants really do a good job. I interviewed probably 4 or 5 before I settled on my final one. And they gave me the resume, I was able to have a Zoom call interview with them, work experience, who they've worked for before, any references. And it really allowed for me to find the right person to delegate the tasks to. Now, you may need to have 2 people. One person might work for you. It depends on what you're focused on and what you need them to do. Some of my VAs are great. They're very self-motivated, and they're a lot more organized than I am. I'll tell you that right now. So click on the sign up for a virtual assistant now. Schedule a strategy session to talk with somebody, either Quan or Andy over there, something like that. Heck, just drop me an email. I'll be glad to jump on a quick phone call and see if you might be a fit for it at this point. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. If there's no other questions, I highly recommend it. It's not meant to be an ad for Riva. I use them. I'm a client, and you guys know that I rarely will recommend somebody unless I'm extremely happy with them. So don't know what happened to Bob. We'll probably have to have him on in a couple of weeks again. But I highly encourage you guys, if 2021 is meant to be a big year for you, you've got to start putting your assistants, you got to start taking action, make things done. One of the biggest travesties that I've seen in the last 20 years is real estate investors that go to workshops after workshop after workshop. They sign up for class after class after class, and they never take the action, or they're too busy going from one class to another class to answer the leads or to market what they've learned in the previous class. Don't be one of those. Please take the action. Please do something. Go out, make something happen, and give me a phone call, and we'll see you at the top, everybody. Linda, Martin, glad you're here. It's a light bulb moment. Reach out to me. We're glad to make an introduction for you. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Monday night. And we'll see you next week. All right. Bye, everybody.